Hey gang, Ronan here. And as you can see in this game, I'm playing the Tier 5 Imperial Japanese Navy destroyer Minekaze. Why am I playing this? Well, I'll get to that in a moment. You'll see here that basically half of each team are bots. And that is a result, at least in my opinion, of Wargaming not doing a very good job of taking care of their customers. They've made it so easy for people to get to Tier 10 that very few people want to play low tiers, and if you do want to play low tiers, even during peak hours, this is what you very often will find. There just aren't any people playing the game at these tiers. Now, that is also, of course, in part a result of fewer players actually playing the game at all, which, is another problem for Wargaming to handle or not. But getting back to why I'm playing the Minekaze. Well, someone the other day, it's been a few days ago now, commented that it might be helpful if I put together some videos about ships that are kind of carry capable. Now, Minekaze is not my favorite Tier 5 destroyer, but it is, in a particular niche, very, very effective, and that is that it has fantastic detection radius. If you spec for it, you can get it down to a very nice 5.4 kilometer detection radius. And that is going to be better than pretty much anything else you're going to find. Now, you can see that the destroyer there, the ICOP, is a bot, and they cheat. It's going to be a very rare thing that you hit a bot ship with a torpedo, especially if they're nose in, because basically the software is just accounting for the location of your torpedoes from the moment you launch them, and they're going to do everything they can to make sure that they miss your torpedoes, or that your torpedoes miss them. So just trying to finish off the bot early, I said, well, I'll just go to work with the guns. Nobody's paying attention to me. There are some ships that are kind of up here with me, Alighieri, Yubari, and Yubari actually finishes them off. And now I can go back to work with the torpedoes. And I'm going to go ahead and smoke since somebody is paying attention to me now. And you can see that the Congo is another bot, so probably not going to hit him. Same with the Delhi. But, you put the torpedoes out and then you just hope and pray that maybe the algorithm is also keeping track of the Yubari and that it's going to make the Delhi, and it did, run into one of those torpedoes. And I can finish him off. Congo, of course, easily maneuvers to avoid the torpedoes. And we're quickly getting down to just the actual players in the game. Now, why is detection radius important? Well, if you are one of the 6 new players in the game, because there aren't many these days. Now watch this maneuver by Congo. He literally turns the other way on a dime, maybe using a dead comrade as an assist, a bumper, a rail, and he's turning in now, and Emerald is falling back behind the island. So those torpedoes, well, not going to really do a lot. Now, one of the things about Minekaze is that the torpedoes are very slow. I do catch him with one. They're very slow. Now, in the old days, sound like Grandpa talking, right? In the old days of the game, when the game was new, Minekaze was essentially a kamikaze with a slightly faster reload, if I recall correctly. Yeah, that's right. Minekaze was a beast. And Isakaze at Tier 4, same, and then Mutsuki at Tier 6. Mutsuki and Minekaze were my favorite ships to play, and I mean, still, they're probably, Mutsuki for sure is in the top 10 of how many games I've played, even though I haven't really played the ship in probably 4 or 5 years. Since the Japanese destroyer line rework, where they introduced the gunboat Japanese destroyers, Akazuki, Kitagaze, and Aruba. Now, the strength of this ship is in being able to remain unseen until it's too late to do anything about it. And in this case, I have the torpedoes out there, and I have to guess that he's got torpedoes coming my way because he hasn't done anything with his guns. You can see it's not even pointed my direction. But I'm going to go ahead and slow down, turn out. I think I would have caught him with the torpedo, but you can use the guns on these ships.
Attention. Reporting a target position.
The Minekaze's guns, they're not great. They have a really slow reload, and you can see they have a glacially slow turret traverse, but they hit reasonably hard. Now, what can I tell you about the statistics on the ship, the numbers? Well, the Torpedo DPM is 92,857, and it used to be, I believe, exactly the same as the Kamikaze Fujin and Kamikaze R, which has 110,298. So essentially, you lost, in terms of your DPM, a significant amount, right? 17,000 some odd potential per minute.
Get back.
And some other characteristics remain the same. The range on the torpedoes is still 7 kilometers, but the torpedoes on the Kamikaze R and the Fujin, which are all exactly the same ship with different skins, the speed on those is 68 knots. The speed on the Minekaze after the nerf, 57 knots. So they're really slow. And let's take a look here at the guns. Well, the guns, the damage per shell is 1700 HE, which really isn't too bad. And you do have a decent fire chance of 7%, but you have a very, very slow reload on these guns. And that makes it really tough to make these guns effective unless you're finishing something off like I was there. You've got a 10-second base reload on the Minekaze, and compare that to something like Nicholas that has a 4-second, or the T-22 that has a 3.6 second, or even the Mutsuki, which got moved from Tier 6 to Tier 5, and they nerfed it in some other way. It still has a 5.5 second turret traverse. Now, you can see in this game that I've been of limited use, really. I sank 2 ships, but I've only done 27,000 damage. But this is actually still a good replay to show you, to highlight why this ship can be effective, because it's the detection radius that allows me to get so close to put torpedoes on things in the very late game, which you will see. Nakamov is, of course, a bot, but he's paying attention to the Britann. May eat a torpedo here. Wheelchair Ninja 69 avoids my torpedoes. So now I'm sitting at 3 kills, only 33,000 damage. And that's going to happen a lot in these really low tier games. This is tier 5 and 4, and things don't have a lot of HP. Now our Britann, rather than coming this way where he could have helped us, he pushed in. Now it wasn't that he wasn't effective. He was very effective. He sank 3 red ships, but he got close there, and the Almirante Soeria was able to take him out. Now Mikoyan, who's behind me, playing a good game, is trying to avoid the big shells. So we've got Britann that's kind of heading into the cap here. And then there's still Miyagi and the Almirante Cervera. And I am going to try to hit the Britann as he sticks his nose in the cap. Mikoyan's going to keep him sighted for me here for just a little bit longer. And I'm going to try and time my drop to be able to hit him with torps. Now notice the reload on these is 42 seconds. That's another strength of this ship. Like the Pan-European destroyers, especially at higher tiers, you get reasonably fast reloads and the opportunity to do damage over time with flooding. It's rare in my experience with Minekaze. The strength of Kamikaze Fujin, Kamikaze R, is the alpha. But even with the nerfed torpedoes, even though it's been a few years, I'm able to finish off the Britann, and that's kill number 4, but I'm still sitting at 54,000 damage. Now there are a couple of other destroyers that are in the regular tech tree line that can be very effective in my opinion. Nicholas is one of them. Another is T-22, and I think I might do a video about T-22 going forward. I'm not sure about Nicholas, but maybe. You know, there are still a few newer players out there that aren't sure, or players that haven't played much Destroyer, and maybe they're looking for a guide. So Minekaze certainly falls into the category of Torpedo Destroyer. And you can see I'm pushing up here, but I have no idea where that cruiser's at, and I kind of get surprised. But I'm okay with doing this because I have smoke available. And if he catches me here, which he does, I can smoke up. I just have to keep my range farther than 2. So he's turning out. I'm counting on that. And I'm going to try and gauge where he's going, but I don't launch the torpedoes far enough away. As soon as he gets beyond 2, I'm no longer seen. I'm pretty sure that there are going to be torpedoes coming my way. If I fire here, he's probably going to spot me, so I'm just going to hightail it and get behind the island. I just didn't aim those torpedoes very well. Got just far enough away where I could shoot him without being detected, and you can see I'm now outrunning the torpedoes. The island's going to give me a little bit of help here. But we turned him around. Now, if you look at the scoreboard, it says 339 to 338, but there's been a bug that was introduced a couple of updates ago, and that's actually reversed. So right now the red team is winning by 1 point. And it's 2 of them and 2 of us, but it's one of them is a bot. So I have to hope that we're going to get an opportunity here. And I'm going to go ahead. I know I'm going to get seen by getting those torpedoes out. But I'm trying to bait him into turning and showing some side. Now I can try to get up one more volley. He's trying to get all his guns on me. And I hit the speed boost in an effort to outrun his shells. Limited effectiveness there. Able to pick up a fire. But we're still down by a point. Now, I'm hoping he's going to come around that corner. But he's a little too crafty for that, and really they're winning, so why would he? But my teammate and I, we know that Miyagi's a bot. And what do bots do? Well, bots, they play like your average World of Warships player. They just rush headlong in until dead. So we just have to wait. We just have to be patient. And I'm going to be able to spot that battleship here. There he is. And even though the bot battleships and everything else cheat as far as avoiding torpedoes, with a 5.4 kilometer detection radius, I will eventually be able to land some torpedoes on that battleship. So it really comes down to a question of, do we have enough time? And we have just under 7 minutes. So the answer to that question is an unequivocal yes. There's plenty of time. We will be able to finish off that battleship. I just have to avoid getting left by the cruiser. Now I don't want to get caught again by the cruiser, so instead of pushing the island, I'm going to move away from it to try to get eyes on the Miyako. Excuse me, Miyagi. And, you know, this, unfortunately, this game is, while exciting in the moment, because, you know, we're talking about a 1-point spread, the next few minutes are, well, they're pretty boring, and you may want to
engine boost deactivated.
Avoid it altogether by fast forwarding. He doesn't finish me, I don't finish him. I try really hard to finish off this cruiser when we get 2,900 HP. And I am able to land some shells, but it's just not enough. He's going to make himself visible again. When I stick my nose out here, I will see him.
Smoke screen set.
And I'm detected by the battleship. So, not very good play on my part. I was greedy to kill that cruiser. But at this point, he's at the extreme edge of my range. 1,541 HP. A non-pen, well, These are very small guns. Mikoyan doesn't really have a shot on him. And I'm out of range again. Out of detection range.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
And it doesn't get really any more exciting. We never do see the Almirante Cervera again. He, I think, decided, you know what, I'm not going to get sunk here. He just continues back into his own cap, I think. And he's just, you know, can they sink that battleship before the time runs out? And the answer is yes, we do. So if you want to fast forward to where that happens and take a look at the stats, that's great. But I can assure you, we get him. It takes me a couple of volleys because, as I mentioned, the bots, they know right where your torpedoes are from the moment they hit the water. I'm just keeping him spotted. Mikoyan can lob shells over the island. He's invisible now to the Miyagi. It's keeping him burning. And I'm just going to risk it. I'm going to put that volley out, see if I hit him, and if not, I think I'm just going to rush at him, get as close as I can, see if I can't finish him. I'm only 30 seconds away from having all my torpedoes back. I can get to 5.4 kilometers before he even sees me. And who knows, maybe I managed to pick up a Kraken. Well, that's 9 torpedo hits. Of course, yeah, I'm playing against bots, but still, not bad. Tier 5 game. Feel pretty good about that. Nope, I guess I misremembered. I thought that was the rush in and finish him, but may not have had to do that. We're down to 2 minutes and 31 seconds. See, he knew right where the torpedoes were. But he's got his guns aimed back at the Mikoyan. I'm going to have torpedoes back up here in a second. And this is the rush in that I was talking about. So I did remember. I didn't get shot at by the cruiser, so he's way down there, presumably in his own cap somewhere. And I'm just going to be able to finish this guy with guns. Have to shoot the superstructure. And there's the Kraken Unleashed, and that's going to be the game. Now, I can't really take full credit. Mikoyan was burning him down that whole time I was keeping him lit. So, the Minekaze, is it a great ship? No, definitely not. Definitely not a great ship. And in fact, I prefer to play the T-22 myself, the German destroyer T-22. And I'm really only talking about tech tree ships, things that you can just play and get. No transfer of money to wargaming whatsoever. I think the T-22 is a lot of fun. Now, what about the T-22 is it that I think is fun? Well, the kilometer range on the torpedoes is a little bit longer than it is here. You get 7.5 kilometer range on the T-22. The torpedoes hit still very hard. Let's take a look here. Pulling it up right now. Minekaze's torpedoes do a maximum of 10,833 damage, and they usually do a lot less than that, depending upon damage saturation and torpedo belts. And then the T-22 does 13,700, and you've got 62 knots of speed on the T-22 torpedoes versus only 57 on the Minekaze. Now the reload on the Minekaze is 42 seconds, but on the T-22, It's only 61, so the difference isn't really all that great. For harder hitting torpedoes that move faster. Anyhow, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, I hope you'll consider giving me a like and subscribe, and maybe tell a friend. We'll take a quick look at the stats when this is over. It wasn't anything phenomenal. This really wasn't what I was going for here. This was just to answer someone's request that I do videos about ships for newer players. You can see I picked up the Confederate, Devastating Strike, and the Kraken Unleashed. Very little damage. 42 shell hits with the guns, 9 torpedoes, a couple of incapacitations, did pick up 5 kills, 3 fires started, 4 floods, and spotted a couple ships. I did manage to top the scoreboard with 1340. Tip of the hat to Paradog and the Mikoyan at 1331. Played a really good game. And to the Almirante Cervera player on the other team, who, if he'd finished me off, it might have ended a little bit differently. But still, good game, Ava 9294. Get into the, yeah, we'll take a look at that. He had the Devastating Strike pretty early on in the game, I think. Britann, 21,000 damage, primarily on the torpedoes, of course. Miyagi, same thing, torpedoes. Delhi, a little bit of HE damage. Britann, Matsuki with the guns. Congo with a torpedo hit. And yeah, torpedo and then some flooding. The Cervera almost got him. And the Minekaze. Total HE damage, 42 shell hits out of 64. I'll take that. That's not bad, but only 10,313 damage. The bulk of the damage coming on the torpedoes and floods from the torpedoes. 57,751 on the torpedoes themselves, and then another 12,014 from the flooding. 279,000 potential damage, so it's not like I wasn't in the fight at all. I certainly was. Some decent XP and credits, and again, thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you next time.